So today I thought I'd do a walkthrough of the table I'm going to assemble. Okay, hi! Welcome to my new studio. I have not yet done an introduction video to it, but basically I don't have room for a studio, so I changed my bedroom into the studio. I have a sewing space. Sorry, it is backlit right now. I am not set up for all proper production. I decided that having a studio is more important than a bedroom, so this is my bed and the rest of my room is a studio. So sorry, it is not my intention to introduce you to my bedroom, but it is my intention to introduce you to my studio. But I will not be doing a walkthrough today. I'm going to save that for another day, because what I've really been dying to do is set up this. I didn't want to do an introduction without my cutting table. And I also don't want to start any projects until I have my cutting table. So today I thought I'd do a walkthrough of the table I'm going to assemble. It is a kitchen island, drop leaf kitchen island. I kept my eye on this thing for so long because they are not the cheapest piece of furniture. And yes, I found a good sale on it, even to make up for the shipping fee. I've probably had this sitting against my wall for 2 months and still have not gotten around to assembling it, largely because it was Christmas and, you know, mom life. I need my scissors. No, I need a razor blade. Actually, I'm thinking I should take this ladder off to give me more space and move this beauty over here. Just when I think I'm more organized than ever, I cannot find the one thing that I need to make my video. I cannot find my razor blade. I probably hid it on the kids, which results in me hiding it on myself as well. So we're gonna have to deal with a kitchen knife. I have about an hour and a half to assemble this thing before I have to go pick up the kids. So let's see if I can get it done in enough time. Now, with a big box like this, typically I like to cut it in a way that I can lay it out so that the cardboard acts as like a cushion between the pieces and the floor. Oh my god, I'm not even recording this properly. Okay, sorry. Oh no, there is a way to open it. Okay. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to pause this for a minute. I'm just going to take a glance at this. So here is what the parts list looks like. It's recommended that you go through and make sure that all the pieces are there. So what I usually do, I don't go through it one by one personally. I've assembled too much furniture to bother doing that because I know it'll take like an hour of my time just to count it all. But I take it all out and just make sure the general idea is there, the estimate of it. So what I do is try to make as much space as possible. It helps if you keep all like pieces together, especially if there's like doubles of anything. This will be all those little parts. Oh wow, isn't that pretty? I love it when they're the same color as advertised. I don't like it when you order furniture and it ends up being a lot darker than expected. It's like the only time I'll send something back. Not always. Kept one of the other tables, even though it was too dark. I didn't think they would have one of a lighter color. It always makes me wish there was something more practical we could do with all this excess junk that it's just like, I hate garbage and having to throw things away. Awkward angles, sorry. And we'll put this here. There. Get rid of all these little things that you could step on. You just don't want like a corner of that stabbing into your foot as you're working. Alright, time to get started. Let's see what the first thing is that we need to do. Yes, we need to open this. Alright, so I'm just gonna dump all these bits and pieces on the floor here by the wall. That's what they should look like. Yes, there's a couple different things in there. Okay. It does say here that you're gonna need 2 people to do it, but this whole set here also said it needed 2 people, and I did it myself. But I did use the walls to kind of help hold things for me, or I might have at one point got my kid to help, but we'll see. We're gonna see if I can manage this. I've been able to skip the extra person once or twice, but I mean, if you do have the option of having someone there, it's probably much safer. Might avoid a mistake or two, or it could be a sign that if you don't need the extra person, you might be doing it wrong. So assembled in a cleared area, we did that. Remove packaging materials, we did that. Read each step carefully, or call the number if you don't know how. Step 1, attach 3 large cam bolts B to bottom trim number 1. Repeat step twice. So we need to find 2 boards, number 1, and we need the cam bolts. Cam bolts are these things. These are your cam bolts. Board number 1, right here, times 2. There we go. Nope. They do not look the same. I think we need them to look the same. So where's my other... This one. Yeah, okay. Usually they're always marked, of course, with this, but not always. Sometimes I've had furniture come and it's like only a few of them are marked, and you gotta just sort of really study the picture to figure out which one is which, what's the difference between these two. It really tests your grade 1 knowledge of how to tell the difference between things. These cam bolts, this is what it looks like. It's not going in every single one of them. It goes the edge, the middle, and the far edge. So it's skipping this one and this one, which will probably be for the pegs. So this one, I'm sure it's totally obvious, but you only screw it into where that top of the screw part is. Nice and snug. You could take these little stickers off as you go. I usually leave them on. I'm a bit notorious for that. It would look nicer to take them off. This is like, the thing about the screwdriver being magnetic is it's hard to actually place it straight in the middle, because the screw around the edge pulls it just a little bit from being able to center it very well. So I have to very consciously place this in the center, or it misses. Or I use my other finger as a guide. Okay, so that's the first step done. We have board number 2. There's one hole on this side, but that one's going to go down. We're placing it up so that all the other holes are up. We're going to need this piece. Those are the A's. We're going to need 4 of those, 3 of these, number C's, letter C's. Looks maybe like this thing. That's the glue. Yeah. So it's saying we're going to need to use that. And 1M. Yeah, there's only one anyway. So the next part is to take 4 of these, place glue on these in order to put them into, ow, okay, I just sliced my finger on the wood, so do be cautious of that. I just like, oh yeah, okay, excuse me, I hope that doesn't gross anyone out. So I have not actually used glue before on any of the furniture I've assembled, but you can see here we have a middle hole and it's out of the screen, but there's one on either end. These ones are going to go here and here, and same with on the other side. Oh, sorry, I'm bleeding. I have to go get a band-aid. Sorry. Back to this. Yeah, this is the first piece of furniture I've assembled that is asking for glue in these things. So I'm assuming there will be a reason why they are asking for you to do it. It just doesn't leave much room for mistakes, because I have mistakenly put these in the wrong holes before and had to redo them. Oh my god, that looks like icing. It looks like gingerbread house icing. It cautions you not to use too much glue, because then it will seep out and that could become problematic. It says if there's too much, if you end up putting too much on, just wipe it off. That's what the instructions say. I'm not going to put too much in. Like I said, I've never had a piece of furniture require the glue, but you know what? They are a little bit loose. Like, they're not as tight fitting, these ones, as ones from other pieces of furniture that I've done. Normally in the other pieces of furniture that I've assembled, the holes for these will be slightly different size than the holes for something else. If you're wondering whether or not you have the right hole, I mean, other than obviously looking at the instructions, these ones never connect to the holes that have these holes. Will never connect this way, right? So you're not putting these in towards a second hole here. They'll always go in where there's no hole. And now we will need, 3 C's. Okay, do not get them mixed up with L's. That's why it's important to look at the letters required and not just wing it. I mean, obviously one will fit and the other won't, but if you're not experienced, you might get frustrated with a mix-up. So what we're going to do with that is take one of these. We're going to put it in here. So that's going to line up like that. And those little pegs from the first step are going to appear there. Then these have a little space in them. You can see you want that space to slide in over the peg like that. In case you slide it in before that and they get stuck and you can't remove it, there is a little arrow right there, and that tells you where the position of the hole is. So you can just twist it with a screwdriver. I know when I have my kids help, they like to put these in the holes before I even get the pegs in there. It doesn't really matter which way you do it first. Just know that that's your little guide. So I'll put those in there. And to tighten those with a screwdriver, turn it towards the plus sign. If you need to undo it, of course you turn it the opposite way towards the negative sign. If there's a lot of wood, you might actually hear a snap. Sometimes I've had furniture that has a lot of excess wood and these things just don't twist very, oh yeah. I don't know if I really recorded that too well, but I'm trying. So the next step is M, this one. I already took the little thing off. M is this one. And this little peg, it's gonna go right there. It is the foot support. So I'm just gonna try sticking that through there. And then maybe it's not going to twist on that. You need like line the hole up, the hole. Push that part partway through, make sure it's lined up. And this one is really, this one's really long, so it's going to take a little while to twist it all the way in. I'm holding it on the other side. I'm not the most talented at using a screwdriver. So as you tighten it, you might want to just make sure that it's parallel, you know, if you care about that sort of thing. For aesthetic reasons, I don't think it's going to be detrimental if it's a little bit askew. Even though I just used what I thought was a little bit of glue, I do have some seeping out still. I'll just use some of the saran wrap. That's the garbage that came with the packaging. So now we're doing board number 3. And basically repeating the same process with this one. 4 of these. Again, don't get them mixed up with the other ones titled J, which are in a separate bag of 4. A little bit of glue. Stick it in. Remember, it's the holes that do not have a line up with another hole. That's just a quick way of knowing so that you don't have to count the holes and double and triple check that you got the right one. From there, we do these ones again. C. I'm always double checking the letters as I go, just because if I space out or my mind wanders, it's so easy to get things a little confused. So here I'm going to put these in a little beforehand. Oh, you know what? I'm actually not sure we need to do that side yet. See, sometimes you want to, when you're doing instructions like this, make sure that you're getting your lefts and rights proper. Like I notice here, there's 2 holes in the bottom here and 2 holes here at the very edge. So I'm just going to double check and make sure that both these edges have 2 holes, because sometimes, depending on your furniture, see, 2 and 2, and this side here has 2 and 2. So it doesn't matter, it's the same. So I'm going to do this side like this. Keep it consistent with the other one. Yeah. Make sure it's nice and snug as you can before putting those things in. There we go. Now we're going to leave these to the side. I'm gonna shift the camera. I'm gonna use the other part of the floor here. And we're gonna bring down 5 and 6, 1 each. Now this one, it's important that we find the sticker on it, if there is one. Yeah, right there. Found the sticker. So that we got number 5 here, which means this one's gonna be number 6. So let's start with 1. Let's start with the top one. We'll start with number 5. So it's telling me to use 2 of these again with glue. I don't know if this glue is starting to dry now. It's very pasty. And this is just for extra support so that the structure isn't too wobbly. Okay, next is the 4 large cam bolts. 4. Oh, and 3 small cam bolts. So we actually need, okay, these are the large ones. We also need the small ones, which is K. Right here. Okay. 4 big ones, 3 small ones. The 3 small ones go on the edge over here. The long edge, and then these ones are going to screw here, and the holes are pretty obvious with those ones. The instructions will kind of try to direct you to which ones, but you can tell the holes look a little bit different. If you try to put it in the big one, it's obviously not going to really do anything except go like that. There, and back here. So I realized I didn't really give a nice view of that. We're going to put that over there. I'll try to give you a better view of this one where I'm not sitting in front of the camera. This is one of those ones that are now opposite. So the large ones, and the glue. Put it four of the beads there first, and then line it up there. Oh, see, that is actually loose. Well, no, actually it's weird. The whole thing that it's screwed into turns though when I do that one, but it's still snug enough to work. And then 3 of the K's. It won't work if you put it in the wrong one. So it's just the end, the middle, and the end. There we go. Now we get the pleasure of the really big board. Board with the sticker number 7. Sticker number 7. Why is that not clear? Sorry. Is that clear now? Sticker number 7. Okay, so this is the big board. We're going to use 6 of those, and we're going to plug them into the ones where it looks obvious. If you did all the other stuff correctly, you will recognize very easily which holes these ones go into. This one looks like it's got some glue in the way. I don't know if you could see that. That one has some crusty glue stuff in the way, so I might have to try to dig some of that out before I put this in. Otherwise it might jam it up and not work properly. And that one just keeps spinning. And that one keeps spinning. That one keeps spinning. This one is problematic. This one's not good. This is not getting snug. I have to find a way to take it out and put it back in straight, because the whole plastic insert there is turning before this is getting all the way down, and that's probably going to cause a problem later on. Okay, so what I'm going to try to do here is I'm going to hold that poking down with scissors to try not to let that move. No. Okay, maybe we'll put that in so I don't cut myself. No. Yeah, see, the problem with that is that's too thick. Let's go that. Okay, there. I wedged it with the scissor here. So now I have to do the opposite in order to wedge it in. This is pretty tedious. This is like one of those things where it shouldn't happen. I'm trying to hold that little plastic insert still so that I can screw this in properly. But it doesn't want that. It's kind of difficult. Okay, but I think that's sufficient. The whole thing still turns, of course. It's at least straight. Okay, so the board should look like this now. I'm going to turn this in a way that you can see it better. We're going to put this one with the peg there on the row of pegs at the edge of the large one. So you can see here we've got where we've got the free hole, we've got a free hole there and a free hole there, and we're going to line those up with the pegs this way. So the peg is towards the bottom. There. Now what you might want to have ready and in reach are these. What letter do we want? We want C. So if you screw it tight enough, it should just stand there. Try not to knock it. It's not going to withstand someone falling on it, but it's enough for now. And then if I back you up, we're going to do the next one on this set of pegs. Just to make sure you're not doing it upside down, I'll show you. You want the lip of this to be facing down towards the peg, towards the bottom of the structure. All right. I am not yet an expert at filming. I'm in practice. I'm in progress. So I'm just sort of like, nope. There. All right. And you might be able to sneak in here. I don't think it's required. You could do this from the outsides or standing. I just go from the most comfortable position I can without blocking the camera. That's good. Okay, those two are hugging. All right, and again, if that's tight enough, that should just stand as long as you're not pushing it one way or another. So that was what we just did. Okay, I don't know if that helps. And then this is what we're going to do now. We're going to turn it up on its side, and we're going to add this. So it needs to go up this way. Again, do that as gently as you can so as not to put pressure the wrong way on these two boards. Found number 5. Do not get it confused with number 6 or it will not work. Unless you're doing the other side first. I'm sure it would be possible without too much strain to just do the other side first, but we're trying to follow the instructions here. This is going to, okay, actually, I think we need to put some pegs in here first. So we want the A's, these ones again. I'm now going to open a second glue bottle. Well, this, I still have glue in this one, but it's going to be a bit tedious to get out. 6 of these, the large ones. I let all the little pieces scatter around. I sort of revel in the chaos of it. I figure you got to give chaos a little space in life. If everything's too organized, That's too depressing. I see why I'm confused. Okay, because there's 2 spots in here, but then the third one goes in the edge here, which is that little lip that I said to make sure points the floor instead of up. So 1. Use your nail to just like move that glue towards the tip. There we go. Actually, honestly, I don't think you actually need the glue for any of this. So I don't know. If this is something that you've had sitting around forever and the glue's all dried to the point of not working, I wouldn't even worry about it. As long as you're not like using this as a gymnastics apparatus. And then you're going to take the J pegs, 2 of them. Get the glue. I just go like that for the glue. So it's not the end one, it's the next one. It's not this one because there's a hole on the other side here. It's this one because there is no hole adjacent to it. So that's 2. And then you're going to repeat the same thing to the other side, but not before putting this on. So what we just did was all of this. Now we're going to put the top part on with all these little gadgets. We have to use both C and L. 4C and 3L. 4C and then 3 of the L's, which are the smaller ones. Now I'm going to plug these in to their coordinating spots before I put the top on. But if you're going to do it this way, like I mentioned earlier in the video, just make sure that that little arrow, let's see if I can get it. There we go. You see, that little arrow is pointing up where the peg is going to go into it. We want the C's, which are the bigger ones, to go here. Sometimes there could be wood stuck in there. You might have to scoop little wood sawdust out. I have this in order to get things in there properly. And here, so that's 4. Okay, and then the L's are the ones that go along the large board here. I'm just going to point. The arrow looks a little bit different on the ones with L. I don't know if I can grab the light. Where's the light? Okay, well, I'm sorry that's not in focus. You got one point that's a little bit more sharp than the others. That's your little sign that that's where the opening is. So just keep it to the top. And we're going to place this. So the bar that's flat across the top is of course going to go here because that's the top of your furniture. Now line up the one there and line up these 2. You might have to just adjust it a little bit as it goes down. Like this one does not seem very lined up. Maybe that's because this isn't as lined up as it should be. You might have to push and pull it a little bit with your hands just to get it accurate. So it was sort of doing a teeter-totter thing where one end would cause the other one to go up. But, it's all accurate. Just wiggle it in. And then we need to tighten those little things so that this doesn't fall off when we switch it the other way. So tighten 3 on the backboard. 1, 2, 3, and 4 here. 2, 3, and 4. And then we turn it over and repeat the same thing on the other side. Oh, that styrofoam sound. That styrofoam screeching is not nice on the ears. I'm going to turn it this way this time for you. We need the big pegs, the A's. We had 6 of those, right? Double check. Yes. I always double and triple check everything. I'm ridiculous that way. That's why it takes me so long to do anything. But it sure beats having to redo things. This glue is so tedious though. I really do recommend cutting a bigger hole in this to make it a little easier on your fingertips. Yeah. Kind of go like this. I hope it's not too toxic. I really don't know what kind of glue this is. Try not to touch it with my hands. Shoot, I have to keep an eye on the time. My kids, I cannot believe how time is flying here. It takes so much longer when you're recording at the same time. So I am going to have to stop this for a few minutes while I go grab my kids. You know what? I'm really tempted to just finish this without glue. Okay, I'm going to switch back to the other glue packet now and see if I can get any more out of this. Yeah, that's a little easier. Okay, now we need the small ones. J, 2 of those. And I've got this thing folded so that it kind of does double duty in the squeeze mode. Four C's. And then 3 L's. Check the arrows. Always remind yourself to check the arrows. Otherwise you're going to have difficulty putting on the big piece. If that happens, use a screwdriver to fix the direction. Now this, sometimes they give you an extra one. So I'm going to hope that this is an extra one. It's got an extra little, I don't know if you can see that. It's got an extra little piece sticking off of it. You can maybe see it against the light. See? That little shard? That should not be there. And I do not want to have to take the time to file that down. So I'm going to leave that for last in hopes that I don't need it at all. There we go. We got number 6. That one fell. That one does not want to stay in. Okay. And then tighten it. 1, 2, 3, 4 of the large ones. And then 1, 2, 3. I'm going to stand it up. Be careful. This might be the part where they suggest 2 people, but I have not seen the instructions ask for 2 people yet. All right. Now I'm going to go pick up my kids. Okay, so just give me a minute. Okay, I'm back. We're going to do this step now, step 9. So we need board number 9 and board number 8. That's number 8. We're going to need 2 A's. I think that's this one. So we do not seem to have any extra of those. That appears to be our last 2. And this one is a little bit warped. I'm not sure what happened there. I don't think it's supposed to be like that. Then we need 4 these, which I think were these ones. Unless, yeah, because the K's were the small ones, so we need 4 of these ones. 2, 4.
Can I have some Smarties?
Yep, you can cut those open and divide them up if you want. Save some for later if you like. And 3 K's. Small ones, got 2 and 2. And 3. Okay. Okay, so this one has 2 different sides to it. We're going to do the side that has a count of 5 different holes. 2 of those holes, the middle ones, are going to fit these dowels. The glue. Then the 4 large candles into the top front panel, which is this one. And we can see where these need to go because of the plastic pieces that are in the board. You can see how this one's filled in a bit with plastic as opposed to this one. Now there's 2. 1, 2, 3, and then 2 on this other end over here. And then the 3 small ones are over on this side. Those are a little nicer. And then for this next part, here, we're going to screw on what looks like these things. And it specifically says, do not use power drill and avoid excessive force to affix hardware. We need H. Oh, actually, the small ones are for later. What we want is we want G. 2 of them. They look like that. They open up just that far. Oh no, they open up wider. They open up all the way. So you're going to line up those 3 with those 3. And then same with over here. And you're going to connect it with H. These ones get a little tougher than the other ones. It can help to use the weight of your body on top of the screwdriver and to help the twisting be a little bit easier. I found that when you're doing hard screws, you can end up with little metal shards on your screwdriver. I'm assuming you probably don't want to get those little metal shards just like scattered around your floor. So I usually take a cloth, not this thing usually, but I'll take like paper towel to just like wipe it and throw it away and make sure that those little shards don't get all over our clothing or socks or anywhere, especially that they could end up in our food. So make sure that like the little metal shards here don't get set down on like a countertop where someone's going to put their apple slice or something and then I don't know if that would end up with like heavy metal toxicity or not, but it's something to be aware of. Then we're going to take this one that we already put these little pegs into. You can see the peg, and we're going to put it right here, those little pegs. There should be little holes here, 1, 2, and 3, that line up with these 3 holes on the top. Then you're going to take these ones, D. There should be 3 of them, and just screw those in. They go quite deep. They're not going to be right at your surface. And again, if you push down with your weight from the top, that's how you're going to get it nice and tight. Yeah, see, that's not really doing anything without putting the weight in. So, then the next part, we're going to put the top on. L's, 3 of them. The L's, one of them is that one that has the little shard on it. That might be difficult to work with. So I'm going to start with the C's. And those ones go in the sides here. Again, make sure the arrows are pointing up. A little bit of a tight fit there. That one doesn't want to go in, but it might be in enough, hopefully. Let's see. And that one. So just in case the other one doesn't work, I'm going to place these on the 2 ends. Okay, so that just sort of flattened it. I think it'll work anyway. This is going to go along here, and then the one with the hinges are going to probably go off back here. And we're just going to try to line up those pegs. There's 2 holes here. Those holes are going to line up with the pegs that we've already placed in there. Okay, so that fits quite nicely. Oh, it's pretty. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. It looks so good. We gotta tighten each of those. So just go under this. If the backboard is up a little bit, like there's a little bit of a gap, just twisting that should tighten and pull it back in for you. Yeah, even that middle one worked, even though it had that extra little shard. The pressure of putting it in there kind of flattened the shard, and so it wasn't even an issue. Okay. Great. It does give you an N sticker. This is to go on that little dot right there. Which is kind of funny because it's not exactly the right color. You can still see it. So we're going to use these pieces next. They'll be the only ones left. They're like this. And this is where these things come in. So the other hinges, they are the F ones. I have 4 of them. 8 E's. So the screws that say E. There. Okay. because I don't think you want
Good job.
to go that way. We want to put the hinge this way. So we screw down this way, not this way, okay? This way, no go. This way, yes. And you want the same thing on the other side. If it gets too tight and it goes off center, just loosen it enough to readjust it, hold it in place the best you can, and tighten it slower so that the hole lines up nicely when you place the next one. Okay, so after you've got this one and this one done, now we're going to attach things to this side. Okay, we want E's. We want E. This. Okay, not the H. I just grabbed the H. The H are too small. Sorry if it's blurry. I'll keep those there. No, I think I got that upside down. Oh no, yeah. You want, it looks like, it kind of looks like it should be the other way, but these, it shows these at the top. And, okay, I thought I had enough time to attach these in about the hour or so that I had between the kids getting back from school and having to take them to their sports. I put them on backwards, had to undo it all, and now I'm recording again, and it is 11:30 at night. So, note to self, or to you, if you're doing this, maybe start earlier in the day where you can avoid interruptions. That one interruption just sort of breaks the flow, and then things end up being a rush and making mistakes. That's what I do. It's just part of life. So here I am fixing it at 11:30 because I'm stubborn and I don't want to be recording tomorrow as well. What you want is the single one out, which is what I did, but you want the hinges facing towards the big board. I did it the opposite way. I did it this one here like this, and the other one opposite of it. But it goes like this. Now these screws here don't actually tighten completely. They just keep going and going and going. Oh wait, no, yeah. It'll just be endless. And oh, in case I didn't show you, it's a E. That's the screw. Two there. Again, these ones are not tightening perfectly for me. screw here. I guess so. That's what it's looking like now. So now we're going to do step 14 and 15. Piece number 10. Of course, we want to work on the side that has the holes in it. Should be 2 holes there, 2 holes there, 3 and 3. These are the pieces we want. There's 2 of those and the H screws. Cross my fingers I don't mess this up just out of sheer tiredness. These go on, of course, the spot that has 2 little holes and 2 holes. And then we just screw that tight with these 4 of them. My hands are sore, but it's from trying to open my kids' juice bottles. I think the juice bottles were so tough because they went from warm to cold like 3 times in the course of like an hour. And so I don't, it must have changed the pressure in the bottle somehow, but they were like the toughest bottles to try to get open. And I just like hurt my skin. They're so red. That's from being a mom, not building stuff. Okay, so this is telling me I should have 6 H's left and I have 5. Oh, wait. Yeah. All right. So we're gonna flip this one over and screw it to the hinge. Wait, I need my screwdriver though. Bring it out here with me. So this is where it would help to hold one hand probably on top. Okay, that one fits nice and tight. I don't know what kind of angles I'm catching here of myself. And 3 more. I did not get that one tight, and I don't want to redo it. I really don't want to redo that one. I'm pulling down on this, that's why I put my arms up. My arm up to stop the pressure from this pushing it up. Okay, now my arm's getting tired. Tired does not become us. That one also is not going to. I don't know if I'm just tired or... Yeah, I'm tired. I'm not getting a snug fit with these ones, but they're well enough in there that they're gonna do their job anyway. I mean, it's snug, it's just not all the way. It's just not 100% in. I've never been able to pride myself on arm strength. I think we might actually be done. Let's get up and see this. Is that not just beautiful? This is the perfect size for sewing projects. This is so great. Wow. I am so happy with this. Wow. Okay. I think the first thing I'm going to do right now is get all this styrofoam and cardboard cleared off the floor. Well, those are spare parts that came with it. And there's these, which are like the little things that get put into the screws so that you don't see the silver of the screw contrast to the white of the table. I tried to take this out of the room, but it has so much electric charge. It's literally like sticking to the wall. I have to like pull it off from the wall. Let's see if it'll just like stay there. That little baggie just like, that's not taped there, that's just like static. Okay, maybe that's not too impressive. I thought maybe it might stick to the wall. It definitely is attracted to the wall. Shh, I'm moving furniture at night. I think I'm gonna need to get some of those, I have some of them. I do have some of those little stickers that you put on that are cushiony that will stop like the clanging sound. I just can't expect myself to remember all the proper terminology. It's midnight and I've had a long day. First bulk roll of fabric, black cotton. There we have it. That's how it will be at rest. And then when I want to use it, I'll pull it out from the wall, put the flap up. I can finally start my projects. This feels so great. I don't know if that was helpful for like anyone out there at all, but I thought I'd do it anyway. I'm gonna have a good night. I want to have a shower. I want to get out of these clothes. I want to get into clothes far more comfy than these ones. And I want to sleep. If you have stuck with me through this whole walkthrough, thank you very much. I really appreciate your time, your energy, your views. Thank you, and I will see you in the next video when I'm more refreshed.